I'm Vanessa Rock, the girl on a bike, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about the survival guide for dads and their partners going through pregnancy. There's a lot that the world doesn't tell you, so hopefully this is going to fill you in. So first of all, congratulations. I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you are expecting a little one inside your other half's baby, or maybe it's yourself and you're trying to get yourself some extra knowledge for your other half to help support you. Either way, this video is designed for the dads of the world to give them a little bit more knowledge and know-how to be the best partner they can be for their partner going through pregnancy. Now, I'm Vanessa Rock, the girl on a bike. I am 3 months post giving birth to my little baby girl, Skylar, and so the journey that I have been on, along with a lot of the mum friends that I've talked to, is how I've built the knowledge to pull together this video with a whole heap of information to make you the ultimate survival guide for pregnancy. Now, it's really important to realize, though, that this is just one video in a series. Pregnancy is not the whole thing when it comes to having a baby. You've also got the actual birth and labor, and then, of course, you've got the early days with a newborn. And so in this series, there is going to be a video on each of those. And if you take a look at my channel, there is a lot of content all about motorcycles, adventures, top tips for kit, bike reviews, all that kind of stuff. And this is just a slightly different sort of arm of content that goes along with the chapter in the life that I'm in at the moment. And that is becoming a mum. And when you're becoming a mum, generally there is a dad on that journey with you. So this video is for them. So what's this video actually going to talk about? Obviously, there's pregnancy. There is a whole heap of things going on in the female body, and by the end of 9 months, there is a gigantic bump and a baby comes out. But there is so much more to it than that. And a really important thing to remember is that you are not a dad from when the baby comes out. You are a dad from the moment you find out that you're pregnant. And that is so important. There is a lot that you can do during pregnancy to be present and be part of the team with your partner. I think society seems to have this pretty negative thing that dads are useless, and you are not useless. There is so much support that you as dads, as partners, can give to the pregnant lady, and I want to make you feel empowered. So in this video, we're going to be talking about all kinds of things, from some of the symptoms and cravings, random things that are going to be going on with the female, the hormones, the complete lack of ability to recognize their own form, all the way through to a very practical things that you can do, really actionable, black and white, to do to support your partner and prepare yourself to going into labor. Then you can move on to the next video in this series, which is the actual birthing video, before going on to the next one where you have a newborn. So without further ado, let's get started. So chapter 1 in this video is that pregnancy is hard. Actually, I would say pregnancy is brutal. There's this thing where millions, billions of us have had babies. So many females have children, have gone through pregnancy, your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother. And so we have kind of almost become normalized to the fact that it's just something that happens. And somehow we've lost sight of actually having real empathy and transparent communication about quite how hard pregnancy is. Typically, it took a village to raise a child, and in modern day society, we are massively more living in isolation. It's just you and your partner. You might have some family nearby, some friends, but generally we're in much smaller communities, and pregnancy can be really, really challenging. It's very important to remember, though, that every single pregnancy is different. Every female body is going to go through different transitions, different hormonal changes, but the key thing is just immediately remembering that pregnancy is really hard, and being a support for that person going through it is the ultimate foundation that you need to start off. They are the one that needs to be looked after, because by you looking after them, you're looking after them, looking after your little baby that's coming as well. So the first really brutal thing that I want to talk about in pregnancy is the mood swings and the hormones. And it's not that we just turn into absolutely wild, feral females. There are colossal transformations going on in the female body, and the hormones are wild. You can be 1 minute happy, smiling, giggling, and the next minute in total tears, unconsolable, and that's okay. You are there to fix it. You're there to be there to support them, show empathy, and just make sure that they know that you are there with them through those changes. The hormones are wild, And hormones are really, really, really all-consuming, controlling. It's very easy as a pregnant person to go, I know I'm hormonal, and I know this isn't necessarily my normal rational thinking, but even then, you can be completely consumed by those hormones. It is a roller coaster. Just be a gentle, supportive partner through those hormonal changes. And you're probably going to need to take quite a few deep breaths and just be there to support. There's nothing personal about the hormones and mood swings, all that kind of stuff. It is literally biology. And when we think about the biology of the body, there is a huge amount going on in the female body. And there's so many changes that you might not expect, from swollen feet to cramps to ligament pains to the stretches, the really obvious ones of the skin stretching where the bump is, but there's a huge amount going on inside, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Massive physical changes as well as mental. You've then got the food appetite side of things. Your partner is going to be growing a whole new human. Now, they typically say you're eating for two. You're not eating for two. Try and support them with the fact that they are going to have wild cravings and they might want to eat more than normal, but also try and support them with maybe not eating too much. Because if you put on a colossal amount of pregnancy weight, it can add to a lot of the psychological elements of the physical change and the losing sight of who you were. And the aftermath, once you've got the baby, it can be a lot harder if you put on a lot of weight. But at the end of the day, the body is growing a whole new human and they are going to be needing to take on some more calories. And they are quite likely to have some crazy cravings. My cravings were kiwis and pickled onions. Very random. One day I was eating a jar of them a day, and the next day I didn't even want to smell one. Just go with the flow. If they're after it, try and get yourself to the shops and get them, and think ahead. If the jar's looking empty in the cupboard, maybe stock it up before you run out so you don't end up with a hormonal partner that desperately needs that item and you can't get to the shop because it's 2 a.m. in the morning. Just a tip. Pregnancy brain, baby brain. We've heard that phrase a lot of times. Now, I initially thought the baby brain was one of those excuses that people that were pregnant used to just make up the fact that they weren't really paying attention. Turns out it is scientifically proven. They have done MRIs on female brains going through pregnancy, and it is actually a physical transformation going on in the brain. Baby brain is real. There are shifts going on in the brain that almost take us from sort of our normal phase through to a more nurture, looking after the baby phase. There's a massive bee in the garage. I don't know if you can hear it, but if it comes and attacks me, it's coming at me right now. That's a huge bee. I'm not scared of bees, but I don't really want to get stung by a bee whilst filming video. Oh, that's the sound of spring, isn't it? Hey, little bee. Honey's that way. Okay, body weight and body image. You like tank tools, eh? Is it red like a flower? Stay still. This is random in a video, isn't it? Please, little bumblebee, please exit the garage. Go this way. Did you see that animal whispering? Oh no, it came back. Okay, we're just gonna... Oh, it's beautiful. How do we get... Do we need to get rid of the bumblebee? We do. It's very distracting. I might not be able to finish the video with him coming in hot. No, oh! It's going for my face! It's going for my face. Here you go. It was full on trying to go on my face then. I think I was going to land on my nose. Body image and weight changes. I feel very fortunate that I have my whole life worked really hard on good nutrition, being active. I have a very high metabolism because of the amount of muscle, and I was in peak fitness going into pregnancy. Not everyone has that foundation going into pregnancy, and it's very easy to put on weight because you are so exhausted with pregnancy that you just eat more because food is generally how you get energy. And that's a really big challenge as you go through pregnancy, because putting on weight affects your confidence, and you're already going through a transformation that completely wobbles your whole existence. So be really mindful and kind. If they are putting on a little bit of weight, be nice about it. There is plenty of time in the rest of your lives to rectify that if it's wanted. And sometimes maybe you're just going to have a few more curds after going through pregnancy. But with that, you've got to think about their clothing. They might not fit things how they used to. They might not feel as nice in things. A couple of really nice positive comments every day goes a really, really long way to help their confidence. So be kind, be nice, and a comment costs you nothing. Sleeping. Everyone thinks that the sleeping is going to go horrendous once the newborn arrives. Reality check. Sadly, for the person that's pregnant, the sleeping goes terrible towards the end of pregnancy. Your body literally changes shape. I used to sleep on my back. You can't lie on your back because of the weight of the baby puts weight on the cord, and then it reduces the flow to the baby and to you, and you get lightheaded. And anyway, sleeping can be really, really uncomfortable. A big tip is to find one of those huge horseshoe-shaped pregnancy pillows. If you go out and get one of those and just show up at home with one of those amazing pillows, I promise you're going to get some massive brownie partner points, because they made a game change for sleeping and enables you to sleep on your side. You have something to cuddle, something to support your bump, something to support your back. Sleeping gets harder and harder and harder. I actually think the sleeping process through pregnancy is a form of training so that you already understand how to be slightly sleep deprived for when your newborn arrives. But just know that sleep is hard. So if you're a snorer, if you're a fidget, if you're a duvet tugger, the kind of thing you might need to do is actually go and sleep in the other room. And it sounds really brutal, but they are exhausted. They are literally growing a human. So anything you can do to support them in growing your child is going to be a really, really big thing. Keeping active. So if you talk to the older generations, a lot of them will probably want to grab your partner and wrap them in bubble wrap, sit them on the sofa and tell them not to do anything for 9 months because they're pregnant. And oh my goodness, they're pregnant. You must rest. You must do nothing. Absolute cobblers. You can be really, really active and you can do a lot through pregnancy. Check out my other video on my top tips for going through pregnancy and some key things to think about, particularly in the world of motorcycle riding. So obviously I am a rider and racer. I did actually do a car rally at 13 weeks pregnant. I did a off-road motorcycle trip in the Himalayas shortly after, and I did a road trip around Norway at 23 weeks pregnant. And the last time I rode was 38 weeks pregnant. I was really, really active through pregnancy, and the more active you are through pregnancy, it's scientifically proven to reduce complications and length of labor, and also support the mum into newborn life because you are fitter. Being fitter is a healthier body and a healthier mum to look after your baby. So anything you can do to support them and help encourage them to be active through pregnancy is really important. But get rid of those expectations. When you're pregnant, things are a lot harder. You've got a different shaped body, your center of gravity changes with the weight, you've got the additional weight on you, and so your performance in sport is going to be different. Be kind to them. I know for me, when I was running, my running went from a 9-minute mile to a 13-minute mile, and I then had to stop running at 33 weeks pregnant, mostly because it felt like I was going to pee myself because your bladder gets really small and crushed. Anyway, we don't need to go into that stuff. But support them in being active and it will help in every way it possibly can. Chapter 2. This is all about being knowledgeable. You are becoming a parent as well. It's not just the mum, and it's not just the mum going through pregnancy and having a baby. You are as well. So do your reading. There are loads of books for dads written by dads. Honestly, I would throw them out the window and focus on the books written by women and are designed by the person that's actually going through what they are going through. Read the same books so that you're on the same team and be knowledgeable. There's an easy excuse that you don't have enough time. Use audiobooks. Listen to them in your car, on the tube, going on your bike ride, going for a run, as you're doing dishes. But there's no excuse for not doing your homework and being knowledgeable. Don't put the weight of all of the new information that you need to become parents, learning about everything that's going on in the female body, the birth, all of that stuff. Don't leave it to her. You are a team. It takes 2 people to make a baby. Be a team and get that knowledge in your head as well. Part of being informed is also thinking about what is going on in the female's body. And as a dad, you can support it. You might not be able to do much with what's going on her inside, but externally, belly rubs are like, whoa, they are so good. And they're actually good in more ways than just, oh, that's a nice little massage on my belly rub. When you think about the belly stretching and growing, the abs are splitting, the organs are all moving around, the ligaments and going, a belly rub actually physically helps alleviate the pain, the weight, the pressure. But there's also a baby inside that's going to be feeling those things. So be knowledgeable about these things and offer to do those baby rubs frequently. Chapter 3, we are looking at some of the random symptoms that you can get through pregnancy. It is wild what the female body can do, from swollen feet that I've already mentioned. You can get card sickness. I got so much motion sickness. Even taking off on an aeroplane made me feel sick. Absolutely weird. You get itchy skin. Things are stretching and moving. Itching's associated with that. You can get different tastes in your mouth. You can get random cravings for things that aren't even food. Thankfully, I didn't have that one. Skin changes. This is quite a big one for confidence. You start to get spotty or dappled skin. You can get a line down the middle of your stomach, which is very, very common. All things that link to the confidence in the female. Got a few more things written on a piece of paper that are just random. You've got the craving on food, overheating, even in winter, you get so hot, random cramps at night. Shortness of breath, that's a really good one, especially if we're talking about being active. Your lungs inside actually have less space as pregnancy progresses, so you start to get really short of breath. It can be pretty overwhelming. Just going up the stairs can become way more effort because you're 15 kilos heavier and you've got smaller lungs. Heartburn was a brutal one for me. Make sure you're stocking up on any of the drugs that she might be needing to support this. And if she is feeling some of these symptoms, which can carry on from all areas of lightheadedness, emotional, pins and needles in hand and feet, any of these symptoms, be there to support her and encourage her to see her midwife or her doctor, because some of them might be completely harmless and completely okay. Some of them, there might be nothing that they can do about them, but some of them, there might be something they can do to help alleviate them. And listen, pay attention to how your partner is feeling, because she might not necessarily associate things, and your external view looking in might catch some things that you can help just take a little bit of weight off her shoulders with. Chapter 4 is start getting prepared early for your new little baby, and start early. 9 months is a really long time. No, it is not. I can tell you 9 months will blink by and suddenly you'll find this newborn little bundle of squidginess in your hands, and you'll wish you'd done a few more of those things before the little one arrived, when you still had 2 hands to do those jobs with. So start doing things early. Now, the best thing to start with that is to start a list. Sit down with your partner and write a list of all the different things that you're going to need for going into labor and also having your newborn arrive. There's lots of resources on the internet that you can look to give you starter lists. What does your house have? Do you need to make adjusters, changes, cot, baby beds, bedding, bottles, formulas, toys, sensory things, all of the things. There's a huge list of stuff. Make a list together and start to work out how you can gather some of those things together. And by starting early, another great thing with that is that you can spread the cost of all of these things across those months. There's a lot of things that you're going to need for pregnancy, and that money can add up. But it's worth mentioning that you don't need everything. Sometimes there are things marketed at us that are really just fancy gadgets. Grandparents can be a very good reference point as to whether it's something that you need or whether it's these fancy new things that Amazon tells you need, just to help you keep your costs down. But get that list written together and be a team, and then have it handy. Maybe have it digitally on your phone so that when you're out and about and you see something, you can tick it off and work together to pull those things together. You also want to do your research. So I've said about finding resources on the internet of things that you need. Once you know that you need a pram or a car seat, you can do the research as well as to which pram or car seat is best. Yes, mum might end up using some of these things a little bit more heavily than dad if you're looking at stereotypical relationships and parenting, but you can also do a lot of the research as well and come together as a team to work out what's going to be the best option. Now, for me, I went into a Mamas and Papas shop and looked at prams. I fell in love with an £1,800 pram and car seat set. I cannot justify that much money on a pram, and that is where shopping smart is a really clever way to get yourself kitted up for having a baby, and that is using things like charity shops and Facebook Marketplace, Vintage, eBay. All of these places are a really good resource for secondhand things. So I managed to get a very good condition pram and car seat set up for £400 through Facebook Marketplace instead, which then freed up funds for other areas. It included another pram, which is probably particularly exciting for dads as well as mums, and that is my out and about pram. This is a 3-wheel suspension running off-road buggy. I do actually have a discount code. You get 10% off out and about prams if you use the Girl on a Bike. But this is the sort of pram that is perfectly suited for my lifestyle. And if I hadn't set out and done the research, I would never have known those prams exist. So there is a lot of incentive to go and do your research, because you might find there's a pram that suits mummy and daddy a little bit more together. So do your research and be part of the team. Part of the team is something that I'm not going to say enough in this. It takes 2 to make a baby, and you're part of this. So be 50% of that team. Actually, be more than 50% because she's doing 100% of the growing. Told you, you heard it here. Be part of the team. When you are gathering your stuff together, I can't emphasize enough, expect to need more than you think you're going to need. Everyone said to me, make sure you get more nappies and lots of clothes. And I got loads. it was not enough because one, they poo and they dribble and they make messes. And so they need more clothes. So you'll get through loads of clothes every day. Your washing machine will be going almost daily, which is one of the things that's massively going to support on dad's side. Be supportive of all the washing and everything. But in the preparing and getting things ready early, I would say get more than you think you need. Nappies are a really good example of that. I thought, a couple of bags of nappies, that will do me. You might not want to leave the house in the early days having a newborn. And so anticipate probably 10 nappies a day for at least the first 6 weeks. That's a lot of nappies, and they're things that you can start to gather early on and spread the cost off. What I decided to do was get a subscription of nappies. I get Peachy's nappies, which are fantastic. They're about 20% lower on the CO2 emissions, and they're really, really well designed to reduce explosions and to be much kinder on the baby's skin. They live in these nappies, so their skin is really precious. So Peachy's nappies are one I recommend, and you can get them on a subscription. Go be a super dad, sign up for the subscription and get those nappies in every month. That takes a huge amount of pressure and weight off both of you because every month they'll just arrive. Anyway, I'm waffling on about nappies now. Clothing support. So as your partner goes through pregnancy, her body is going to change absolutely colossally. Boobs are going to change massively. I went up 4 cup sizes. Your bump is going to obviously expand. You'll no longer fit in stuff. You're going to feel uncomfortable. Help your partner find more clothes, big jumpers, loose shirts. It might even be some of your big t-shirts are really comfortable, your pajama bottoms. I actually used my husband's motorbike kit in some of the weeks of pregnancy because he was a bigger size than me and I was able to wear it below the bump and his jacket fitted over the top. Be supportive of that clothing requirements and help her find it, both for during pregnancy and for the early days post-pregnancy. In that list of things that you should get before the baby comes, if she's planning to breastfeed, is most certainly nursing bras. And this is all knowledge that you can have to be part of the team. So hopefully it's helping you build a bit of an idea of some of the things that you can do to support your partner. Now, if you're enjoying this video, we have loads more to come, by the way. But if you're enjoying this video, please do hit subscribe. There's loads of content on my channel, and make sure you tick the bell so that you get notifications of new videos. And if you've got any questions or things that you think we should add to this list to give dads as support knowledge, let us know in the comments, and we can use those comments as a resource to expand the advice. Right, the final one in chapter 4 on helping to prepare yourself is a slightly more serious one, and that is recommending that you get counselling as a couple before your baby comes along. If we look at the statistics, I think a whopping 33% of relationships fail in the first 2 years after having a child. The pressure and the life change of having a baby is absolutely colossal. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, my own relationship is finding it incredibly difficult as well. And this piece of advice is one I wish I'd known during pregnancy. And that is to get yourself just a couple of counselling sessions with your partner before your baby comes along to talk about communications and how to handle stresses, pressures, anxiety, all of those kinds of things. I've got a couple of friends who've done it and it's really, really helped them. I would say really gently broach that conversation with your partner, and it's a very, very powerful way to show a deep emotional connection and empathy, and it will help you in the long run big time. Chapter 5, I've got the right number of fingers this time. We are talking about what's actually going along in the female body. I'm going to skim this really quickly, but I saw these visuals and it absolutely blew my mind. You've got the human body, you've got lungs and organs and intestines and stomach and your bladder. They have their space inside the body, and they go from being all nicely laid out to crushed, squished. Your bladder is absolutely tiny. I ended up having a bucket by the bed so that I could go for a wee really easy in the night because my bladder was so small at the end of pregnancy. In our house, you've got to go all the way downstairs to the toilet. Anyway, be supportive of the fact that their lungs are going to be smaller, their bladder's crushed, their bowels, they're going to have 1 second diarrhea, the next second constipation. It is incredibly uncomfortable. They're exhausted, they're hormonal. They pretty much have lost control of their body. It feels like an alien has moved in and has possessed it, and you don't really know what's coming and what's going. And if you look at these visuals, it really, really brings home quite how significant the changes are for a female. And those changes, once the baby comes out, takes up to 2 years to go back. More on that in the next videos. But there is so much going on in the female body. I think the key thing to think about with the changes in the female body is, for me, I didn't look in the mirror and like what I saw anymore. And the confidence side of that change can be really difficult for a female. And there's a lot of power in the partner to help boost their confidence by reassuring them that they look beautiful and that they're glowing and that their skin is lovely and those big mama boobies are just be lovely and kind and supportive. Those changes are really, really hard. I felt like I lost sight of who I was. I used to be fit and athletic, and I just felt like I turned into a blob. The hormonal changes, the crashes of the emotions on top of all of that stuff, it's really, really brutal. And it's not just a bump. Their body is quite literally performing a miracle. They're growing a whole other human for you. It's your little baby that's going to come out of there. So help boost their confidence every single day, multiple times. Number 6 is the identity shift that your partner is going to be going through. And I've mentioned quite a bit of this already, so I'm going to try and skim over this and not waffle too much. Not waffling too much, Vanessa. The shift that she's going to be going on is huge. From the moment that you find out you're pregnant, you are effectively a mum because you are looking after that child inside you. And that is the same for you as a dad. But I don't think most dads and society really treat it like that too fairly. They have to give up, don't have to. They generally give up caffeine and smoking and alcohol. They have to reduce heavy lifting, extreme sports. Their job performance might change. Their anxiety and their worry about miscarriages or upsetting the baby. There's so much going on. And that starts from the moment you find out you're pregnant. And for the dad, there's a lot that you could do to be supportive and mindful of that. You know, going out and getting absolutely sloshed and coming home piss drunk with them staying home, trying to look after the baby isn't necessarily going to be the most empathetic way to be around them. Just be gentle, be kind, and be supportive of the changes that they are going through. The psychological adjustments and the hormone adjustments. This one really blew my mind. When you go through puberty, you had a huge hormonal shift. We all know about it. Puberty is a really well-known, documented thing. And over the course of quite a few years, you go from being a child through to coming out of adolescence, being into an adult. During pregnancy and becoming a mum, you go through a dramatically more significant hormonal change and physical change, but in this much time. I think it's called matrescence. I can't really pronounce the word. I'm not very good with pronunciation. Let me know in the comments if you know how to pronounce it. But the hormonal shift is absolutely colossal. And as society, we seem to brush over it. It is huge. Just be supportive and be part of the team. She's going through a massive change and she might not recognize herself. Help her see herself as her and not just a Bowser creating a baby. That's quite brutal wording, but sometimes I generally did feel like that. You feel like a hippo sometimes, especially when you're big at the end of pregnancy and you get beached on the bed and you realize you can't really get up. With the identity shift, a really, really easy thing that you can do to be supportive of that is showing up and being there with her. Be present. If she hasn't got the energy to do anything and just wants to sit on the bench or sit on the sofa, sit and be there with her and support her. Has she got scans? Go with her to the hospital. Hold her hand while she's having those scans. Show excitement. Be excitement. Look at that little black and grey blob that you kind of can't really tell as a baby, but they're telling you as a baby, and be excited about it. Be part of that. And it is an amazing way for you and her to bond and be in this journey together. But actually, you'll also be bonding with the little one inside as well. A little bit more on that to come. So next up, I want to talk about what she really needs from you. So this is chapter number 7, really tangible things that you can do to help support your partner as you go through pregnancy. Now, the first one is don't just ask, take action. I need you, she needs you to be really proactive, looking and seeing and thinking about things that she might need, how you can support her, and proactively preempting those to do them for her. Don't just wait for her to always ask. Asking is exhausting because you constantly feel like a nag. If you can see something, maybe she's sat there and she can't quite reach her drink of water. Don't wait for her to struggle or wait for her to ask you. She probably won't ask you because she'll feel like a pain. Just reach for that grass and give it to her. Those things take seconds from you, and I can tell you firsthand mean a lot to the mum. Flex with her. Her energy is going to be all over the place. She might wake up in the morning with an absolute jump, skipping a stride. She wants to nest. She wants to go work out. She wants to do all these things. And by mid-morning cup of tea, yes, that's Brits have a mid-morning cup of tea, she's absolutely zonked and her plans for the day are over and she just wants to sit and rest. Flex with her. Be kind to that. She's growing a human. And I'm saying some of the same things over and over again, but I can't emphasize enough. Pregnancy is really hard for some of us. Some females, I hear, have really easy, smooth pregnancies. My theory is that they probably just haven't been honest. Pregnancy is really, really hard. I haven't met a single mum who hasn't had a tough time through pregnancy, at least chunks of their pregnancy. So flex with her and be supportive of those changes. You basically want to try and be her calm. She is in a storm. Her body, her hormones, everything is going on. Be her calm, be her constant, be her rock through it all. And you will massively bond and come forward into being parents together with a lot more strength. The next three in this section are really, really important ones, and ones that I think maybe aren't always talked about enough. So the first one is colostrum harvesting. So colostrum is the liquid gold. It is the early breast milk that we create until day 3, roughly, when our full milk will come in as mums. And colostrum is called liquid gold because it is unbelievably rich and powerful. It can be used for loads of different things, from obviously feeding the baby when it arrives, through to treating skin rashes, nappy rashes, used as a liquid in a bath to give you nice soft skin. It's got so many benefits, but what we don't realize is that you can start harvesting colostrum from 36 weeks pregnant. It's recommended not to do it earlier than that because too much stimulation of the breast can induce labor, and you don't want to induce labor too early. But colostrum harvesting is something that I did from 36 weeks, and at the start it was really, really hard, and I can tell you that it's really, really, really hard to do it yourself because you've got to work the boob, work the milk ducts to get the milk out whilst holding a syringe, which is typically 1 ml. That's the sort of volumes you're going to be getting out at a time, and sucking it up. It's a really lovely thing that you and your partner can do. Take it in turns on who wants to do the massage, who wants to hold the syringe. It can be quite fun. Sometimes it squirts, sometimes it drips, and you're literally trying to get every drip because early on you're going to be getting like 1 ml out of your boobs. By the end of my pregnancy, I was getting 20 mils a day, and I probably got maybe 350, 400 mils total frozen in the freezer. And this colostrum is a really important one that you can take to the hospital with you and have at birth, because if you have any complications with the mum during labor and birthing, then you've got that colostrum to feed your little baby if needed as well. So colostrum harvesting is a really good bonding thing to do. We then have the belly rubs. We've mentioned it before, but the belly rubs are a really important one for her alleviation, support, comfort, and also bonding. And I'm going to go into this in a lot more detail in point 8. And then we've got setting up home. So setting up home is effectively nesting. Now, I remember reading that as you go through pregnancy, your hormones will naturally start you going into this nesting thing where you start to want to organize and tidy and clear out. Oh my goodness, it's true. I got rid of so much stuff and decluttered during pregnancy. My husband loved it. You can get involved with this. Take advantage in a nice way. Don't actually take advantage, but be part of the fact that she's nesting and she's wanting to have a tidy and organize and clear out, and help tidy up and organize your stuff as well. Declutter and prepare your house, your space, your nest for when your new little baby comes. It can really help both you and particularly the mum to help you feel physically and mentally ready and prepared for your baby coming along. So that's some really practical things you can do. There's so much more to come in this video, and a really, really, really important one is this next chapter, which is chapter 8, and that is bonding with your baby. And yes, I am telling you to bond with your baby while it's still in mummy's tummy, because what I didn't realize is that from 22 weeks, that baby inside mummy's tummy is able to hear voices, associate voices with the physical reaction that the mother is having in relation to those voices, understand tones and the relationships, and build early relationships of its own with those voices. So let's put this a little bit more clearly for you. If you are constantly arguing with your partner during pregnancy and causing that physical stress to the mother's body, I promise you that little baby will come out knowing your voice and associating you with those emotions that you put onto the mum. That, unfortunately, is going to result in a much more difficult bonding process for you as a dad with that baby. Pregnancy can be really difficult. It can be really emotional. Women can feel, I'm not going to say women can be irrational. I'm going to say I was definitely irrational at times in pregnancy, because I don't want to stereotype that on females. Our hormones are brutal. And so you really need to think about the fact that it is not about you. It is about how you can support them getting through this change and going into pregnancy. And sometimes you've just got to take a deep breath Swallow your pride, get rid of your ego, and just be supportive. And when you think about the fact that your reaction and relationships with your mum to the mum is going to directly impact your bonding process with the baby, I hope that helps emphasize quite how much you need to just be supportive and be part of the team and go through this roller journey. Because even if you're having a rough time, I guarantee you she's having a much harder time growing that human inside her. So just be part of the team. A hack that I discovered during pregnancy was music. It's possible, because the baby from 22 weeks is so aware of what's going on outside of the body, it's possible to pick a song and also a playlist and play it regularly. And that will become a secret hack trick, absolute knock ballpark out, whatever, bowl out of the park trick that you can use as a dad once the baby's out. So I picked one lullaby that I thought that I'd be able to listen to 10,000 times, and I played it for 15 minutes every single night before I went to sleep as I put myself into sleepy mode. So I played it on Spotify, put a 15-minute go to sleep timer on, and I played it every single night. Once little Skylar was born, every time that song played, she associated it with a safe place of being in mummy's womb and mummy going to sleep. And it was like a magic switch of putting her to sleep. I then also played the same playlist every time I was in a car, so she heard the same sort of music. And now she loves it. If I play that music, it calms her out and she's really, really chilled. So that's a good daddy hack that you can do. Get some of your favorite music, start playing it to that baby bump, and have it as your hack when the baby comes out, and you can have it as a really good bonding thing. Okay, we're to the final chapter, chapter number 9, and this is preparing for birth. So there's going to be a whole video on the actual birthing process, but whilst you're going through pregnancy, there's lots you can do to prepare yourself for that birth. And there is the first thing of birth versus the reality of birth. First of all, you need to get rid of any of your expectations of what birth is like from Hollywood, because that is all dramatized, theatrical nonsense, and that is not what birth is like. Do your research, do your homework, and learn about what birthing and pregnancy birth can actually look like. A really easy thing you can do here is get yourself on YouTube and search for positive birthing videos and watch them. It is not creepy, it is not weird, it is completely natural, but watch the birthing videos yourself so that you can become normalized with what birth should look like and different types of birth, whether that be C-sections, water births, births in the hospital versus at home. Know the different options, be familiar with them, and maybe watch some of those with your partner as well. I personally had a lot of anxiety through my whole life about birth, and watching positive birthing experiences completely reworld my database as to what to expect. And for you as a dad, you're going to be going into a labor where you're going to feel very much almost useless. She's going to be the worst pain she's had in her life, quite possibly, and you're not going to be able to fix that. And so seeing what that can look like, seeing the amount of blood that might be there, seeing what the placenta comes out like, can make you be normalized to it before you're there in real life and shocked by it. So getting that reality check of what you're expecting to go into early can really, really help you feel prepared. You want to know the basics, read the books. We've talked about that already. Read ones by women and read some of the same books. I'd really recommend looking at Hypnobirthing. It is not hypnotherapy, spiritual. Hypnobirthing is just really badly named. It's the science behind birthing, and it will make you feel very, very empowered. And it's something that you and your partner can go on the hypnobirthing discovery journey together. There's some really good courses you can do on hypnobirthing too. And it's something that will just make you feel so much more empowered going into birth. Once you have got that knowledge, you're then going to really want to sit down with your partner and write a birthing plan. The birth plan is a document that you'll have ready with your bags, which I'm going to mention in a minute, to go to the hospital or to give to the midwives when they come to your house. And it's going to set out your partner's preferences for all of the different things that happens through birth, from cutting the cord to what to do with the placenta, to whether you want to use forceps, whether you want to go straight in for a C-section. There's loads and loads of things. I'm not going to go into all of these things in this video. This is where you need to go into your research and read the books, listen to the audiobooks. But writing the birthing plan is something that is beautiful to do as a team, as a partner, with the birthing partner. You might find that your partner would like you to be there at the birth. She might want somebody else there as well at the birth. She might want her mum. She might want you. She might not want you. Do you want to be at her birth? It's all conversations that you need to have, but have those conversations early and get your birth plan written down, documented, and ready. and know your basis. You're then going to want to think about your hospital bag and be prepared to go. You're going to need a hospital bag for the mum, for the baby, for you, and for the environment if you want to have candles, incense, all those things that you're going to learn about doing your birth plan, and help get that organized. At the tail end of pregnancy, you're going to want that bag ready to go in case you have an early start of labor. And it's something that's going to be really important that you help do, because when your wife is going into labor and she is screaming at you that she needs the comb, you're going to want to know what the comb even means and where it is in the birth bag. So do it as a team. And just so that you know, the comb is something that you can use for pain management in your hands. And it's quite a powerful one to use. You're going to need a car seat. I know I've talked about getting prepared, but going into labor, you're not going to be allowed to leave the hospital without showing the hospital staff the car seat. Make sure you've got one, make sure you've installed it and done a dry run and you know how it works and it fits, etc. Have it ready in the car early on so that it is ready to go. Courses are a really, really good thing to do. NCT is a really popular one in the UK. That is the National Childbirth Trust. But there are lots of other different types of courses you can do, including the hypnobirthing for actual labor. But the courses for going into parenthood is really critical. I would recommend getting yourself booked onto 1 or 2 courses. We actually did a couple. We did Flying Start and NCT. They're really, really powerful, hands-on way to learn about key things becoming a parent, such as how to change nappies, things to think about on the medical side of stuff. It's lovely to do them together because it puts you on the same page and it helps you bond. But a really, really great thing about this as well is that you'll also meet the other parents to be that are on the course who probably live near you because you're geographically close to do the course. And they will become huge lifeline friends for you as you go through pregnancy and into parenthood. And I really would encourage both you and you to support your partner in finding a local network of mums and dads. And this is a really good one for you as a dad as well. So I've managed to find a lovely network of mums locally. And I then found out that the husbands had a mountain biking group, which I encouraged my husband to go and join as well. So he's got a dad network as well. Because what you don't realize is that the friends that you have that don't have kids, you might not see them as much once you have kids because life becomes very, very consuming. But those friends that do have kids really get what you're going through and they've got knowledge and experience. And sometimes it's nice to just be able to talk to someone who completely gets the page that you are on. Final thing in this chapter is thinking about your paternity and maternity leave. There is a lot of options out there, especially in modern times where parents, both male and female, can have a little bit more flexibility. So talk to your employer, look at your situation. What can you afford? What kind of paternity and maternity leave is there? How much time can you take off? Could you take additional leave? Could you bunch up your holiday? Know what is options for you early on and sit down with your partner and have a conversation so that you can plan it. And little things to think about with that, for example, if you have a really long labor and you're only allowed 2 weeks off work, let's just say you have a 3-day labor, it might be that you and your partner decide that it's not worth you being there for the whole of labor because those 3 days might be better used when the baby's actually there and that you come in towards the end of labor and the mum or a best friend supports through labor. These are all conversations that you can have. But just by thinking about them and starting that conversation, you're going to be a lot more supportive for your partner as you go into these things. Remember, it takes 2 to tango and it takes 2 to be a team. And that is the biggest message I want you to take out of this video. Communication between you and your partner is absolutely critical. Be there and talk about it. There is no topic that you can't talk about. It might feel uncomfortable, it might be awkward, it might start an argument, but I promise you it's better to start talking about it and having those conversations early as opposed to leaving them as elephants in the room and not talking about them. That was a lot of information. I really hope this video has given you some food for thought and help you have some very tangible things that you can do as a dad going through pregnancy with your partner to feel part of the team and to be the most supportive partner that you can be. Because I promise you, the time and the effort that you put in now will be worth it down the line. Be part of the team. Bond with your baby before they even arrive. Be supportive of your partner. Be present. Be there in the moment and be part of the team. Pregnancy is an absolutely wild roller coaster. But what you have to come is even more wild. So stay tuned for the next video with birth and labor and also the one going into having a newborn for dads. I really hope this video has been helpful. Let me know if you've got any questions in the comments. And please, if you think there's anything that I've missed that you think we should also be adding in here as advice for dads going through pregnancy, please get it written down in the comments below. I think the world needs to talk more openly, more honestly, and more truthfully about the roller coaster of becoming parents and the challenges and difficulties that come with it. It is not all magical and smooth sailing and fairy dust and sunflowers. It can be really, really difficult. And I think by talking about it, it helps normalize it. I definitely had some really isolated times through pregnancy. My mental health hit some pretty low points, some pretty scary low points. And thankfully, I was able to find the support around me to get through them and come out safely. If you want to see more updates of little Skylar, you can check those out on my other social media channels, including Instagram, Facebook, etc. But for now, I'm going to sign out and I will see you in the next video where we go into birthing. Thanks for watching. I'm Vanessa Rack, the Girl on a Bike.